Hi, Jim Simpson here, giving you a quick update to a modification I'm working on using this Taurus G3C as a test bed. So let's make sure we're safe. We are absolutely clear here. We are clear here. Finger in there. There's nothing in the chamber, so good to go. All right. If you saw my last video, you know that I was using this optics riser as a gas pedal. Okay. Now this is a 1-inch riser, a little short thing. And it has a cap on this side that, you see right here, that bolts onto, there it is, that bolts onto that side of the gun and was acting as a finger rest. Well, I made it a little change, okay? The problem with this setup is that I had to run my forefinger horizontally at the base all the way across the trigger guard to bring my thumb, let's see where it is, right up pretty much near the muzzle, but just short of it, so I'm not burning the end of my thumb off. The problem with this hold, I'll show you what the problem was in a second when I explain what the change was. This optics riser, 1-inch long, came as a kit with another one. That's looks like 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches maybe? I don't know, whatever. Came as a 2-part set. So this is a 1-rail riser, and this is a 3-rail riser. Okay, cool. Well, the 3-rail, each one has a cap. This is the, there it is. This is the cap for the 1-inch riser. But the cap for the longer riser, I've used on the shorter riser, and I've drilled a second hole in it. There we go. There we go. I've drilled a second hole in it towards the end so that I could run this cap further back. I've also shaped the inside edge around the frame of the gun so that it fits a little bit more closely and tight into the side of the gun. So as we look at it, we've got this kind of thing going on. Okay? Now, this is just a working prototype. This is not what a production version of a bolt-on gas pedal going under a pick rail would look like. But it would be mechanically similar to this. Now, by having a longer one, I'm able to put my thumb here instead of up here. Okay? If I bring my thumb back, now I can put the middle joint of my finger around the trigger guard. Instead of coming all the way up here, now I'm here. Now, this kind of hold has a long history in gunslinging. Jerry Michelik, of all people, uses a hold very much like this on revolvers. So he's not doing a gas pedal thing, because obviously you couldn't have your thumb up here because the cylinder gas would fry your finger off. But he's doing a forefinger in front of trigger guard type of hold. And other people do that too. It's a legit, well-known thing. Okay, cool. Well, by doing that, here's the advantage I get. So now I'm still doing a gas pedal effect. We can see thumb pegging the barrel down under recoil. I'm doing a push forward with the strong hand, pull backwards effect with the weak hand. Okay, so I'm doing, this is the classic Weaver tension, front to rear. Okay, but here's the difference by having my thumb further back versus forward, thumb back. What's the big difference? Well, let's take my weak hand off, and let's take the gun out of my strong hand and leave it where it is. When I have my finger in the new position, just barely around the trigger guard, instead of wham, fully forward of it, I'm forming a complete circle around the grip. You got this area of gap around the grip. If I can, let's do it again. Okay, so there's an area of gap right here, and I'm filling in that gap with the palm of my offhand. This is my support hand. This is all typical. This is all standard modern gunslinging theory. Cool. But I can integrate that normal hold with the gas pedal concept by running the gas pedal button, if you will, arm, support, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what you call it, whatever. Instead of being this little short one, as you saw in my last video, it's now the longer one. Okay, what would this look like as a production unit? All right, we would shave off a little bit of material on the front so we have less of this standoff effect. Although if we want, we could keep some on. By having this protrude out forward even just a little bit, if I get in a close range gunfight and the barrel gets shoved into something, the barrel's not going to get, the slide is not going to go out of battery as easily. Okay? So now I can still fire. I'm pushing real hard right now on my hand. I'm not out of battery. Interesting. So that's actually a close quarters combat improvement to the gun. Would we want one quite this big? No, probably not. Although, might make for an option for some people. I don't know. But the big thing is we're going to keep a rail in the production version so that you can still attach a light under this. Okay? And on the cap, we're going to take everything here and kind of round it. And then the new cap that would go in a production version would be flatter and stippled, or have some striations cut in the top. So you've got like a little thumb edge rest right here. I could put a piece of skateboard tape on the top, but I find that it's not really necessary. Even with this fairly slick aluminum feel, this is all aluminum, by the way, with this fairly slick feel, it doesn't really cause a problem because I'm wrapping, if you look at my thumb, there we go. I'm not pushing just straight down, I'm pushing in at the same time, and I'm also compressing the whole front of the gun horizontally in addition to compressing it vertically. So I'm fighting muzzle rise, but I'm also taking more direct control over the muzzle direction with this setup. Okay, so gas pedals have been well known in competition guns. Everybody knows they work. Everybody knows that we haven't been using them on the street because holstering such a thing would be a problem. Now, let's talk about that. So, my holster, this bad boy here, which you've seen in other videos, but I'll show it again. This is the high-speed fanny pack design of mine, where you have, 4 little snaps that seal it shut. There we go. That went one more snap. It's easier with the gun in it because the snap lines up. Boy. It's actually not easy with no gun in it. My apologies. 1 second here. Got it. Okay. There. With the gun in it, that's actually much easier. Okay. So this hangs from the belt. It's a fanny pack class of rig. And I've got another video that goes into more detail on how this works. I'll refer to that. When I pull the ripcord, it blows open and it presents the gun. Well, it turns out there's an advantage to this setup. Not only is it fast as hell, I mean, if we look at how the gun fits in there, the grip is completely clear of anything. Boom, jets out and grabs. Now, the gun grabber middle core piece that I have right now is preliminary, if in this setup right this second, because it's just leather, it's not Kydex. That's temporary. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to have to rebuild everything soon when I put an optic on the G3C. That's coming. I'm working on what I'm going to do for sights. Okay? Once I do that, I got to rebuild everything. So I'm not putting a huge amount of effort into this right now. I will refer to how this works in Kydex with the other video. That's why I'm not going into details. But here's the key. Whenever you do a Kydex holster for a gun of any sort, it doesn't matter what kind, what else you're doing, there's always going to be one particular place where you grab the gun. Okay? Now, traditionally, if there's nothing on the rail, no light, no gas pedal, no nothing, no laser, whatever, the traditional place to make the primary grab is the Kydex molds around the front edge of the trigger guard. Okay? So when you go to pull it, that's the main grab point you're defeating when you draw any Kydex holster from any of the mainstream companies. Now, if they give you a holster that's meant for a particular light, you got a light under here, flashlight, weapon-mounted light. They sell you the holster for that particular gun and that particular light because the light becomes the primary place of grab. Okay? And you can't use this because light's in front of you. It won't work. Cool, but this is even cooler because when I've got a gas pedal going on here, I got this thing sticking off the side. I can make the primary point of grab the gas pedal. Okay? Don't have to do it here, and I don't have to do it for the light. So I can have a Kydex holster that will, primary point of grab is here, and of course molded around the rest of the gun. Yes, of course. But it doesn't matter whether you have a light on it or off, or what kind of light, if you do this right. All you got to do is put just basically a piece of round plastic plumbing tube, cut to right length, and just stick it on there when you mold the Kydex around it. So there's a big gap under in this area for whatever light you want. But the primary point of grab is off of this little booger. Okay? Now you've got a Kydex holster that will work regardless of which light you have, or maybe you don't have a light. Maybe you do have a light, doesn't matter. Same Kydex mold. That's cool. But then, once the Kydex is the core portion of this, and I'll refer to the other, there'll be a link in the description below to the main video describing what this looks like with Kydex in it. Okay? It doesn't, when you're wearing it, if there's a little bit of bulge right here against your body, down, in front of your pocket. Let's do that. There you go, in front of your pocket. Okay? So there's a little bit of bulge. Who cares? Doesn't affect comfort, doesn't affect concealment, doesn't affect draw speed at all. At all. So the whole rig is fundamentally compatible with whatever gas pedal setup becomes the final production version. Okay? This is just a functional engineering prototype, proof of concept. Okay? Works for me, but it's not something I would expect to sell on the commercial market. But anybody who makes little optics risers like this can make a different cap on and shorten it in this end, put a different cap on that's shaped for a nice comfortable thumb rest feel, and now you've got a bolt-on gas pedal that also allows a light on top of that if you want. This is a potential commercial product, no question. And it's a product that can be carried on the street if you have this bad boy. The combination changes the game for a concealed carry piece. Every single gunfight that's ever been held in the street has been open class. Nobody's going to say, oh, you have a better weapons light and a better optic than that guy. And therefore, no, it doesn't work that way. You either win or lose with whatever you brung. This setup allows you to bring more firepower. Faster rate of fire under more control, more accurately. With a gas pedal involved. Every competitor knows what a gas pedal can do. The people who write the rules for Steel Challenge and all that, there's a different class for whether you've got, among other things, a gas pedal on there or not. The rules are written around the concept. Every gunfight's open class. And I'm the guy that's got a way to bring an open class concept to the street. Open class concept on the street. Drop me a line. Somebody's got to be able to do business with me. There's got to be a way to bring this stuff to market. Because if you notice the wear patterns of this. Check out, this is the original leather. Here, it hasn't been hit by sun. This has been carried for years. Different guns in it, different Kydex cores, different arrangements of the string, different this, that, and the other thing. Been working on this for a long time. I've got a lot of knowledge about how to make all this work and bring it to production fast. Look me up. Jim Simpson signing off. Thanks. Bye.